देखिए ये दो फिल्मों का बैक टू बैक लीक एक्चुअली मुझे I don't know what to say actually. We're actually reeling from the shock. At this present moment, I'm reeling from another shock. I just had a car accident, and my Bentley is totally gone. So I don't think it's got to do anything with the leak, but it's got to do, I think, maybe the times that I've gone through. But I think more than anything else, uh, the producers were supposed to give us a film that's contractually obligated, and before the first copy, if there is any piracy, it is on their. But we decided to not do that and support our producers. If the leak was planned as a target Balaji situation, then it's most unfortunate. But I don't look at it that way. I think there are certain people out there, and that's why I want the producers to take this on very seriously, who are make for a few lakhs are letting go of people's 2 years of hard work, 5 years of hard work. So there are conspiracy theories, of course, at play, but I would like to believe the world is a better place, and it's got to do with some mismanagement that's happened in certain bodies where the print was sent. I have not got any idea. We are doing an investigation, of course, and post that investigation, Ashok ji and Indu ji will have to then take the final call what they want to do with it.
Hi guys.
I just want to add to this at this point that, when 17 days before the film leaked, overseas में बहुत मुश्किल हो गई क्योंकि वहाँ पे तो कोई कंट्रोल ही नहीं था. यहाँ पे फिर भी हमने कोशिश की. ओवरसीज में तो पूरी हमारी फिल्म as good as non-existent हो गई. But Balaji and especially Ekta, it was incredible to see them stand with us like a rock. They had many options. They had legal options. They could have avoided being a part of this, but they really stood by us. And that says a lot about the backbone, the ethic of the company and of Ekta Kapoor. And we're really, really thankful for that. Thank you, Ekta.
Especially me, because I am the party who's directly affected by this decision. So it was very gracious of her to come to my rescue and be with me in this loss.
Hi guys, Karmik here from ikarmik.com. I'd like to express my condolences for all that you have been going through, and I can see your faces, and it's a very, very emotional moment for us in the media as well. I, for the record, have been trying to, tell people to watch it in a theater only. We watched it in the theaters, but unfortunately, as media, we get a free show, so we couldn't contribute as much. But there are two questions that I have. One goes to the legal aid, Mr. Hitesh. I think the biggest problem that is coming out over here is that people do not fear piracy. The ones who are the perpetrators of the crime, the ones who actually are at the behest of it, do not fear the consequences of doing something like that. In my opinion, piracy is equivalent. Piracy to movies is what rape and murder is to human beings. Do you think the law needs to change and it needs to become criminal in nature? Criminal proceedings and not just civil proceedings should be meted out against people who have done this, number one. Number two, should the fear be instilled by creating more awareness? And number three, from the three of you, the four of you in fact, what would you like to say to the fans who are as much party to it as the others?
Undoubtedly, piracy is a serious issue, and piracy has killed this movie. There is no two doubts or two issues about it. As far as the law is concerned, the law is there, and there is sufficient deterrent in the system which can deal with the issue of the tackling of the piracy. But as Vivek mentioned earlier, implementation, execution, and awareness. We have to, as a first step going ahead, we have to create awareness that downloading on your personal PCs or on your phone is also a crime. It is not the person who are perpetrators, I mean those who have leaked, equally they are culprit, but those people who are downloading are also very big culprits. Now, as far as advanced jurisdictions are concerned, like when you look at United Kingdom, United States, they also face the same problem. The way they addressed the problem was the Ministry of INB equivalent over there sent letters to every person, every household a letter was sent that please cooperate with the law. Downloading is illegal. So the first step is instead of instilling the fear of criminality, because you cannot take anybody and everybody, practically it will be very difficult to achieve, to send the people behind the bars. But you have to create the awareness. And after the step one, a mass awareness is created, then you have to start also trying to look at some cases and start taking actions.
I'd like to, yeah, once you finish, I'd like to put something here.
So it's a question of basically, and then about the implementing authorities, also the authorities in power. You cannot just look at, oh, it is about just one movie which is a commercial issue. Our attitude should be changed. This is a systemic problem. Piracy, as you mentioned, is like a disease, and it requires a complete holistic approach by all the stakeholders, government authorities, judicial authorities, the police authorities. Everybody has to collectively address this issue as a serious issue and not just treat it, oh, this is like a piracy or a chalta hai attitude.
So two things I'd like to say here. One is that I'm not net savvy, so I didn't have any idea how rampant a film, if it's leaked before release, can get. In one day, Urta had about 6 lakh downloads and was shared multiply with every download. The most successful film has 3 crore viewers going into a theatre. So when Great Grand Masti leaked 17 days in advance, and we decided to go to the courts, by the time we got our jurisdiction done, then we went to the ISPs. The ISPs allowed us to create firewalls to stop these torrent sites and all these things. It was 8 days gone. And even though the crime branch went ahead and did multiple raids, I used to have 5 people a day coming and telling me, outside the railway station we found copies. My driver has seen the film on his mobile. One of my guys was sitting in an Ola discussing Grand Masti. He said, "Mere to 8 ticket bach gaye, main to ghar pe dekh li." So once a film is out there, even if there is a huge plan and the perpetrators are caught and everybody sits out there and goes ahead and says, okay, now we stopped it after 4 days, the amount of damage that's done, I didn't understand till I knew that my own staff had half the people seen the film.
No, I agree. I mean, that's exactly what I messaged you, Vivek, that, you know, you can't stop. I mean, I had people
Karmik, thank you for supporting the film firstly.
But
also thank you for being a member of the media, telling people online and social medias to go out and see the film in the theaters.
But that's great that the government supported us, the police have supported us. Now I want to see, once the crime branch comes with a report, what support comes our way to then, one, catch the perpetrators, and then of course help us get compensation from the people who did this. Because that is the real game. I mean, post somebody, I mean, you've cured me, but half the world already, like, I mean, 14 days, 10 days ago we got the order cleared and everything stopped. But in 10 days, we lost our viewer completely.
So what do you have to say to the fans, Vivek,
well,
after all of you?
What I'd like to say is that it's astounding. I mean, the estimated losses could be to the tune of 100 crores. It could be that big in terms of revenue. We could have lost 100 crores. That's 100 crores lost for the producers, the theater owners, the actors, the film industry as a whole. We've lost that revenue. And I just like to say to the fans as a plea, as a prayer, that it's not harmless. We've been harmed. It's not harmless to download. We've been harmed. We've been hurt. It's possible that you've not only killed the film by downloading it, it's possible you've killed a franchise that you've enjoyed for the last 12, 13 years. It's possible that you've hit it so hard that it might be difficult or almost impossible to come up with another installment because of the economic losses that have been created. And I agree with Ekta. I think that there has to be a compensation. There has to be culpability. There has to be someone who goes to jail for this crime. There has to be some way of an economic compensation to the people losing this kind of money. I mean, it's really unbearable as a loss.
Aftab and Ritesh, do
Ekta
you
ma'am,
think that, rape and murder to human beings is the right parallel to draw when you say piracy to a movie? Yeah, Aftab and Ritesh, both of you.
Sorry, I couldn't.
I'm saying that, is it the right parallel to draw? What murder is to human beings or rape is to human beings is what piracy is to movies.
See, I don't personally like the term rape. I think it's a very negative term. Don't like to use that. But it's also a very sensitive term in this country. But what I'd like to say is, like I said earlier, is that it's our careers. Everybody sitting on this dais, we've all worked really hard. It's like when you try and create something, you spend so much of time, money, and effort to create it. People put in so much of money. We put in so many hours of work, and some random person comes and just kills it in just a matter of a couple of minutes. Of course, we feel completely stabbed in the back. We feel all our efforts have gone to waste. And coming back to your question, what would we like to say to the people out there, to our fans, people who've looked forward to this film for as long as we look forward to it too, is that, like you, even we are extremely sorry and hurt and sad and upset that somebody who's got no connection with this has come and just killed it for everybody. And like Vivek also said that, it's a franchise that's been nurtured and loved and created for over 12 years. It's a history. And now, unfortunately, it's come to this point that we have to face such an unfortunate incident. We're obviously very hurt. We're sad for the fans. We're sad for ourselves. And like Ekta and everyone rightfully said, that we hope that we would get compensated. At least people who put in the money should get compensated for something like this. And I would love to see a part 4 in this franchise. And someday, God willing, with the help of the media, the fans, people who believed in this franchise, that we can someday make a part 4.
Ekta ma'am, my question is to you. Now the tragedy that has befallen Great Grand Masti sort of came with a warning in form of Urta Punjab being leaked, 2 days ago. Do you think the shock and the crackdown had at that time happened? There was hue and cry. However, the film opened to good numbers and the issue sort of, died down. Do you think had the crackdown and the follow-up at that time been strong enough, this could have been averted? And as an industry, what do we need to do to stop this?
So I'll tell you one thing. It's a very big. So there was the censor issues happening on Urta. Then we went ahead and we released the film, and it was a 1 day before leak. The leak happened on Wednesday evening, and some fan again put it up like, "Hey, guess what? I'm seeing the film," very happily, and we did a crackdown there. The crime branch got into play then. When we first got the message that Great Grand Masti had leaked, I had just seen the film the night before. We were tracking on Ormax at a great number. We had our theaters worked out. The film was bought by distributors, clearly showing that there was an exhibition interest in the film. And I think the CBI was doing its job, but I think it was like a process that was being set to then eventually come up to the conclusion. What no one was aware of, that this leak that happened on Urta Punjab, from wherever it has leaked. I mean, there are conspiracy theories that have come into play that we've been informed of, but I don't want to say to the press now. There was somebody with the copy that same night, around that time. And apparently, the film was being pirated on a better pricing. So I think when it got sold to the pirates, whatever we've heard, the film came out in the market. Now, I think for even crime branch or any kind of, while they were busy with Urta, and I don't think they calmed down, but it went into a process. So I think now with 2 films, I mean, they say lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. I think they should meet us. They might just get into over mode, because I think we have a superb, I think our police force and our crime branch has been superly active, and they've done a good job. They're also doing a great crackdown. I'm just hoping they come up with the culprits' names and where the leak has come from, so that we can take some serious action. But I think they went into a bit of a process mode, but they've gone into overactive mode again once this happened.
Okay, Ekta ma'am, it's very evident that both your films have had to face this, and your film had actually a victorious like a victory against censor board. It's considered a historic victory, and it happened just after that, Urta Punjab. And then Great Grand Masti released 17 days. It's very, even if you don't want to see it, it looks like a sabotage. From Balaji's point of view, what are you going to do for your next film from here onwards? Are you going to take any preventive measure when it comes to, you know, censoring and?
So we are taking some measures to censor our next film. But like I said, I don't want to blame anybody till we get the crime report. And till then, I would like to reserve any comments on who's done it. I personally have a little different conspiracy theory than yours, but close.
Yeah, also the censor board has said that, you know, it can happen from either side. Like censor board has said that it might have happened because it's Balaji's film, so they have said that it might happen from Balaji's point of view. Like somebody from Balaji
Anyone
might
say
have.
this?
Somebody has said.
Whoever said this doesn't seem to have the knowledge that the production house has no copy of the film till the film's final print comes. So I think whoever said that to you, I don't think they checked facts.
Yeah, yeah. Hello.
There has to be a structure. Like I said earlier, TIPCU, what Telangana government has done now, is a fabulous base, a platform for our industry to get together and say, okay, this is a great platform, they've already done the groundwork, let's add what we need to this and take it forward. Small things in implementation. I'll tell you an example. When I was in Delhi talking to the police commissioner, I said, sir, आप जब जब्त करते हो, रेड करते हो, तो आप सिर्फ pirated content रेड करते हो, आप सिर्फ CDs, DVDs, pen drives रेड करते हो. अगर आप equipment as part of piracy उसको attach करके उसको भी जब्त करते हो, if you confiscate the equipment which is expensive, then that starts to pinch the pirates. That starts to hurt them because now the damage, the financial damage to them to set up the whole infrastructure all over again, if it happens 3 or 4 times, they're out of business. So for the first time in Delhi, 9 raids were conducted where they took all the equipment. This is the beginning. Now, if this becomes a practice across India, at least the physical piracy aspect will get hit hard. The second thing that through your medium, I want to tell people, I want to educate you people, because we don't want any young kid thinking it's harmless to put a link up on WhatsApp, to put a link up on Facebook and say, hey guys, check this link out. I downloaded Great Grand Masti, aap bhi dekho free mein. It's not harmless. That is actually piracy. To download and watch, you can be arrested, you can get bail. But if you forward a link to your friends, you're actually participating in a piracy process. As a pirate, it's a non-bailable warrant. It's a non-bailable offense. And you can ruin your life, your career, by having a criminal record for doing something as silly as that. Now, this is something that people need to be aware of, because the stronger action that we've pushed the government to take, there is going to be a crackdown. And people have to start taking responsibility for it.
I think, Vivek, we should also mention that when we sought an intervention at your behest with the INB ministers, I think we have been told that the Great Grand Masti team should be the torchbearers to lead the movement against the piracy. So we are not going to stop here. And I think we have become an example, but we are going to make people also, the culprits also, example out of it. And I think this is the last time you are going to hear. I think within 4 to 8 weeks, we are going to submit concrete recommendations, and we will ensure that the government is going to accept those recommendations to prevent the online piracy or to prevent the allegation surfacing that from censor board or FCAT, these copies are leaking. So we are going to submit a set of representations on behalf of the industry to ensure that this systemic problem is addressed.
जाते जाते एक आखिरी सवाल मैं पूछना चाहूँगा, जैसे कि आप लोग ये कानूनी समस्या का सामना कर रहे हैं, मैं प्रोड्यूसर्स एकता कपूर, समीर और इंद्र कुमार जी से जानना चाहूँगा कि इसके अलावा भी एक समस्या आप लोग फेस कर रहे हो। शाइनी आहूजा ने केस फाइल किया है, नोटिस भेजा है बालाजी को, तो इस पर क्या कहना चाहेंगे? एक मेड का नाम शाइनी रखा गया है, तो इस पर आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
I think this is not even worth a discussion. Such notices come. And I think वो appropriate forum पे उसका जवाब दिया जाएगा. आज उस बात पे बात करके हमको पायरेसी के इशू से हम इसे कोई बात को डाइग्रेस करना नहीं चाहते हैं. Piracy is an important issue. We want to stick to that issue.
Ekta ji here. You've been an iron lady in Bollywood and television industry. I want to know that, like, in future, will you follow the same procedure of filing the movie, or like in the censor mein, will you give your copy? What you'll take care of?
So we are looking at getting a new censor format ready. But as far as I'm concerned, on my personal next movie, we're hoping to actually at least make a request that we don't have to send a CD because we can't take this anymore.
I'm sorry, just to add to that, it's not very public information yet, but I think yesterday or day before, the board has already put out information saying that they will not be taking a copy of the film anymore. So I think it will be either a DCP or the producer will be present, make the screening happen, have the discussion, and take the DVD and CD or DVD back with them. So I think there's already a change that's happening.
I think all the changes will come into play, but what we have to see is now, once we get the CBI report, and Induji and Ashokji will have to front this because they are the producers, if there is any concrete action taken, and that's where I think the government and the legal system of the country will come into play.
Last question from my side. मैम मूवी जहाँ से आती है और जिनके पास जाती है वो जो कॉपी होती है उनकी अच्छे से मॉनिटरिंग होनी चाहिए, और दूसरी बात ये कि जब मूवी आती है किसी टॉरेंट साइट में या किसी में, उन सब साइट को हमें मॉनिटर करना चाहिए कि जैसे हॉलीवुड की कुछ फिल्में होती है वो उस समय टॉरेंट पर नहीं आती जब तक मूवी पूरी रिलीज़ ना हो जाए 2-3 महीने के बाद। तो ये सब चीज़ हम खुद से कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, हमारी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री कंट्रोल कर सकती है, तो एटलीस्ट ये तो होना ही चाहिए। ये 2 पॉइंट तो
I think Ruchika जो वहाँ बैठी है, she'll answer this better. We have had 150 times on a torrent site, they can change links every hour. And there are various ways to reach a site. In fact, now there are manuals available. I think, Vivek, you can tell them about manuals available now that if
it's
you
ridiculous.
block a site, they give you a manual, how to break
it's really painful. मैं क्या बताऊँ? Despite Balaji kicking into action instantly, even while the legal was going on, parallelly what they did was they hired agencies that are the best in the country to track, monitor and stop piracy, to pull off links. But एक लिंक आप उतारते हो 10 लिंक और खड़ी हो जाती हैं, 10 लिंक उतारते हो 100 लिंक और खड़ी हो जाती हैं।
जब आपके पेन ड्राइव पे होता है, then that sharing is a so totally
on another
different
level.
matter.
WhatsApp पे आप encrypted टुकड़े बना के उसको WhatsApp कर रहे हैं और लोग उसे डाउनलोड कर रहे हैं। It's so difficult, and like Ekta said, shocking चीज हमने discover की कि people are actually putting up manuals कि अगर आपको ब्लॉक किया जा रहा है तो ये तरीका है कि ब्लॉक को आप circumvent करके और ये डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। लोग सिखा भी रहे हैं कि आप इस तरह से पायरेसी कर सकते हैं, आप इस तरह से डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं ओपनली।
There was an audience for Urta that was a slightly economically higher strata audience. It's a class movie. So a lot of people who downloaded saw it. Yes, we lost a lot of money, but there were also some people who were clearly a little more ethically bound because of some kind of financial and education backing behind them, who decided to see it in the theater. In a different economic strata, especially where Grand Masti becomes a favorite, probably the masses, getting anything free or financially giving them some kind of support became like a bonus. It was like a Diwali bonus to see a film free of cost. So unfortunately, the kind of film it is being catering to the masses, where a little bit of financial saving also helps. I don't think the moral, ethical ground play came into play.
Also, with just to add to what Ekta said, Urta had to deal with 48 hours of piracy. We were damaged for 17 days before the release of the film. Only we know what we went through, trying to keep a straight face, trying to smile in interviews, while we know every single day that it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Ladies and gentlemen, last question.
Yeah, there were 6 people that were arrested. That was the news that was floating out in Delhi. But that news was, could you throw a little light on that? Because we don't know much about it. Who were those people and what is the situation with them right now?
At this moment, to throw any information on the investigation will be premature because the investigation is at a crucial stage. And we don't want to send out any information which will generally aware the culprit to just find some way out. So at this moment, I think it's better the investigating authorities, they do the job.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Just before we call it to a close, I just want to say one thing. I just want to say one thing to all our media friends here. The war against piracy is on. We really appreciate your support. We are not going to just do this press conference and forget about it and move on. We are about this one, and we will need your support through this fight. So please stand with us. Could be 100 crores.